What's up, guys? So it turns out TJ Dillashaw is going to be relinquishing his 135-pound belt because of some quote-unquote adverse findings involving USADA from his fight with Henry Cejudo, and has been suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission for 1 whole year, retroactive to his last fight. USADA hasn't really said anything though, and potentially his suspension could be added upon that from USADA, so we don't really know the whole suspension, but it's going to be at a minimum, I think, at a minimum a year. Given the minimum, it's going to allow him to fight by January 19th, 2020. I mean, that's a long time. We don't know what the findings are. USADA never really said anything, but TJ came out and said that they found something, and that is why he's relinquishing his belt. And TJ went to Instagram to set out the news, and what he says is, "To all my fans, I wanted to be the first one to let you know that USADA and the New York State Athletic Commission have informed me of an adverse finding in a test taken for my last fight. While words can't even begin to express how disappointed I am at this time, please know that I am working with my team to understand what has occurred and how to resolve this situation as quickly as possible. Out of fairness and respect to the rest of my division, I've informed the UFC that I will be voluntarily relinquishing my title while I deal with this matter. I want to thank you all in advance for the support." First of all, what does he mean by disappointed? I mean, we have to find out what these findings are, because we don't know what it is. We don't know if it is full-blown picograms, I'm just kidding, anabolic steroids or something like that, or something like, I don't know, an IV or something, because if we recall, he went down to 125 pounds to fight Henry Cejudo. My guess is something happened, because I know he has this new nutritionist and this whole new system that got him down to 125 pounds pretty safely, it looked like. A little bit sketchy, I don't want to say sketchy, but a little bit shocking how easy he was able to make 125 pounds after being a pretty good sized 135 pound fighter. So my guess is maybe something happened, maybe he took something, maybe something was given to him that allowed him to make that weight a lot more comfortably that was in violation of USADA. That is my guess. That's probably what happened, because he never got popped for anything before. He never got popped for 135 pounds, and the only time he got popped was when he went down 10 more pounds, which is a huge amount of weight for a 135 pound fighter to go down to 125 pounds. And with some help from some sort of drug or whatever it is, I don't know, it seems a lot more logical that that's probably what happened, but we have to wait on what they find. We have to wait on what the evidence is before we fully accuse him of just taking steroids or something like that. But yeah, these things are never good, right? When USADA contacts the fighter about something they potentially found in their system, it usually ends up being something pretty big, right? So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I know Team Alpha Male have accused TJ of taking stuff for a long time, for years, and I think Cody Garbrandt was the one that said he taught Team Alpha Male how to cycle. So I don't know. That sounds pretty sketchy, but he never got caught for anything when he weighed 135 pounds. So again, my guess is something when he went down in order to make 125 pounds a lot more safely. But the important thing is, he's relinquishing his belt, and the 135 pound division has sought out and established that #1 contender, and that is Marlon Moraes. So what's going to happen here? Marlon Moraes 100% is going to fight for that belt. It has to be Marlon Moraes versus maybe Henry Cejudo if Cejudo wants to go up. But then again, Cejudo going up to 135 pounds was only logical because he beat TJ Dillashaw, and TJ Dillashaw is or was the champion. So going up to bantamweight isn't really as logical as it was. There isn't as much meaning in it, besides Henry Cejudo trying to be a double champion. But Cejudo does have Joseph Benavidez, who did beat him, who is potentially right now the #1 contender. Marlon Moraes is #1 contender at 135 pounds, so I would like to see him no matter what fight for the belt. If it's Cejudo, that's fine. That's a great fight. I do favor Marlon Moraes to win that fight. I think he's just way too big. He's much bigger than TJ Dillashaw is, and they're going to be fighting at his weight class, and he has devastating knockout power. He has great striking, great takedown defense, takedowns of his own, and the huge strength and size advantage is going to play a factor in that area, which is Henry Cejudo's strongest suit, and he has good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. So I like the fight for Marlon Moraes, but who else would it be? Will it be him versus Aljamain Sterling again? I mean, can you really do that fight again? Marlon Moraes starched him in a round. Could you do it against Pedro Munoz? I think Munoz would be the most logical at this point because he just beat Cody Garbrandt, who was a top 3 fighter in the division and the champion not too long ago. So if I would have to guess what the UFC would do if TJ's not going to fight for the belt, if he's going to be suspended, and Henry Cejudo is not going to move up because TJ's not the champion anymore, it would probably have to be Pedro Munoz and Marlon Moraes for the vacant title. And TJ, whenever he comes back, he'll get an immediate shot, I would think, right? And that's a good fight. Pedro Munoz and Marlon Moraes is an excellent fight. I mean, you got Munoz, who's a much better BJJ artist, much dangerous with his submissions. very sneaky with that guillotine. He has knockout power on the feet. Now, I don't suspect him doing much to Marlon Moraes on the feet because Moraes is a sniper with impeccable timing and a bit bigger than Munoz as well. So I really do favor Marlon Moraes over most of these fighters in this division right now. But that is a very compelling fight. I would love to see Pedro Munoz versus Marlon Moraes. You can't do Rafael Sansa because he just lost to Moraes. And Aljamain Sterling, even though he's coming off a good win over Jimmy Rivera, he just lost to Marlon Moraes not too long ago. That fight was at December 9th, 2017, you know? And the fight only lasted 1 minute and 8 seconds. So, not too good of a case for Aljamain Sterling. I think he needs another win, and then he could potentially get a title shot. So, this is all shocking news. I mean, this is pretty surprising. TJ, of all people, getting popped out of nowhere like this, it puts this bantamweight division in a very weird position nowadays. And Henry Cejudo, it's very unpredictable what they're going to be doing with Cejudo. I think he should be fighting Joseph Benavidez, beat Joseph Benavidez, potentially fight Jussier Formiga, and then Davison Figueiredo. If he's able to beat those 3 guys, he's pretty much cleaned out the top of the division. So I think he should stick to that right now until TJ comes back. If TJ gets his belt again, then Cejudo has that claim to just jump right to that title shot. But Cejudo jumping up to fight Marlon Moraes is also a very fun fight, but it just doesn't make too much sense, right? So I think the bantamweight division should sort itself out. Cejudo should take on the top contenders, and we gotta really pick and choose when these champions jump divisions to fight for the belt, because it leaves these divisions in a very strange place, especially when they're not cleaned out, because Joseph Benavidez, Jussier Formiga, and Davison Figueiredo have rise those ranks very, very quickly, and they're all waiting right behind each other to get that title shot. So very interesting news. Leave a comment below. What do you guys think about all this? And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. I am currently working on my prediction video as well as my podcast, but with these news coming out, I might push back my podcast till tomorrow and have my predictions come up today. So be lookout for those. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.